Welcome to the deep dive. Lately, things in the sky have been, well, a bit strange.
Yeah, strange how.
Well, we're talking about some pretty unusual stuff. Clouds apparently spinning around in circles, sudden gusts of wind out of nowhere,
Okay.
and even things like rainbows looking like they're tied in knots. Really weird atmospheric things.
Wow.
And, if you ask around, a lot of folks seem to point the finger at this one cloud, Puffy. He's got this reputation, sort of isolated, maybe a bit grumpy, often called a troublemaker.
Right, Puffy. And that actually brings us perfectly to Puffy's secret sky and Toby's friendship.
It's such a great story for this deep dive because it really lets us explore something quite human, doesn't it?
What's that?
How we connect, or, well, try to connect, with people who seem to push everyone away, the ones with that prickly exterior.
Oh, okay. Like Puffy.
Exactly. We're going to unpack this story and see what hidden needs, maybe what self-protection is going on underneath all that. It gives us some really powerful insights into empathy, I think, and genuine connection. Okay, let's get into it then. So, the source material, it tells us Puffy wasn't just generally in a bad mood.
No, it sounds more specific.
Yeah, it describes classic signs of emotional reactivity, a sharp voice, apparently, quick to flare up,
Right.
and interestingly, never apologizing. So most others had kind of just written him off, just that grumpy cloud over there.
Given up, basically. Avoidance.
Pretty much. But then Toby comes along, he's just walking by himself, and Puffy yells out, don't come near me!
Clear warning. Defensive.
Totally. But Toby's reaction is, well, it's what's really interesting here. He just says, I won't, I'm just passing by.
No big reaction.
Exactly. It wasn't like he was scared or avoiding him. It felt more like respectful acknowledgement.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And it makes you wonder, why didn't Toby just react with fear or judgment like everyone else seemed to?
Right.
He just calmly acknowledged the boundary Puffy set. It's actually a classic de-escalation technique, isn't it?
Yeah.
It stops things from becoming a confrontation right away.
Makes sense.
So then Puffy, who's described as this, scruffy, wild-looking cloud, he pushes a bit more, asks Toby if he's scared.
And Toby?
Toby just replies with, well, genuine curiosity. He says, I'm not scared, I'm just curious.
Curious, not scared. That's a shift.
It is.
Yeah.
And he even offers, a tiny cloud sweet, a really small, non-threatening gesture. It wasn't about fixing Puffy,
Right, not trying to change him.
No, it was more like an offer of just presence. And maybe what psychologists call unconditional positive regard. Just being there without judgment.
Yeah.
Kind of chips away at that isolation Puffy's built up.
That really stands out because Puffy seems maybe caught off guard by this.
Seems like it.
He mumbles something like, don't you think I'm annoying?
Testing the waters again.
Yeah. And Toby's reply here, it feels really profound. It taps into that idea of active listening, maybe. He says, I think maybe no one's listened to you in a long while.
Wow. That's quite direct, but empathetic.
And apparently that statement just hits home. Puffy's whole demeanor changes. He stands up and, for the first time, invites connection, says, come with me.
So he lets his guard down.
A little, yeah. Leads Toby through this thick cloud bank to this amazing hidden spot, a cloud cavern.
Ah, the secret base. If we think about this psychologically, the cavern is totally a metaphor, right? It's that internal protected space people build when they're afraid of being vulnerable.
So what was inside?
It was apparently full of Puffy's creativity, but all hidden away. Things like a spinning rainbow windmill, stacks of paper planes,
Cool.
and walls covered in these hand-drawn sky maps. But the key thing, on every map, Puffy had written, no one looks for me here.
Oof.
That's telling. It really is. He even says it out loud. This is my secret base. No one shouting, no one judging, no one trying to change me. It just screams this deep need for acceptance, but on his own terms. And maybe a fear that anyone getting close will just mess things up.
So what does this mean for us thinking about connection? Toby sees this, right?
He does. And he gently points out the contradiction in Puffy locking himself away like this.
How so?
He says something like, but also, no one here to see your brilliant drawings. No one to say your windmill is clever. And then the kicker, no one to know you're lonely.
Oh. Holding up a mirror gently.
Exactly. And Puffy doesn't argue. He just kind of looks down, acknowledging it.
Mm.
And Toby, again, he doesn't rush in with advice or try to fix the loneliness.
What does he do?
He just asks really simply, would it be all right if I came here sometimes?
Yeah.
Not to bother you, just to be with you.
Just be with you. Not to
Yeah.
fix, not to change.
Precisely. Simple, non-judgmental coexistence.
Yeah.
It's a surprisingly powerful way to connect, actually. We often underestimate it.
To Puffy, agree.
Not with words. But he passes Toby a clean sheet of cloud paper and a pen, and they just sit there side by side and start drawing a new sky map together.
Wow. From don't come near me to drawing together.
It just shows how that consistent, non-demanding presence can really disarm those deep-seated defenses and build actual trust.
That's such a compelling journey we just walked through. It really highlights how Toby's approach, simple curiosity, just being willing to be there without an agenda. It completely changed the dynamic. It wasn't about fixing Puffy. It was about seeing him, understanding him, accepting him right where he was, from isolation to, well, shared creativity.
Absolutely. And what's really fascinating is how much can change when we just stop, move past our assumptions, and actually listen, empathetically listen.
Yeah.
Which leads to a really interesting question, I think, for you, the listener, thinking about your own life, who might be guarding their own version of a secret base. And what kinds of unexpected connections, what breakthroughs might happen if you approach them, not trying to change them, but just with genuine curiosity and that simple, consistent offer of presence, just being with them.